Tom Busby, CNBC. Winter is coming, and the U.S. Energy Information Administration says it'll cost a whole lot more this year to heat your home. Look for a 20% spike in costs if you heat your home with oil. Natural gas bills should rise 5% this year, electricity 3% higher. On Wall Street, it was another day of massive losses for stocks. The Dow fell 546 points. That's on top of Wednesday's 800-point slide. The Nasdaq down 93. It lost more than 300 yesterday. All that on continued worries about rising interest rates, slowing global economic growth, and the new earnings season, which kicks off tomorrow. One share of Sears, at one time the nation's biggest retailer, cost just 34 cents. A bankruptcy filing could come at any time. Good news, though, for retirees. Next year's cost of living increase for Social Security recipients will be almost 3%, the biggest increase in 7 years. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC.
It's the little things. Like finding $20 in the wash. Woo! Jackpot! Or knowing where to shop online for all the newest styles and best deals around. Stage.com, of course. Visit Stage.com today for incredible sales, our newest markdowns on clearance, more extended sizes, and even more choices. Plus, check out today's deals online for daily coupons and offers. Fresh styles, big savings, and fun perks every day. Stage.com. Little things mean everything. Offer exclusions apply.
Credit products are made by WebBank. Rates and terms vary based on credit history. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
There's a million ways to get into credit card debt, but one sure way to start getting out. Avant. Avant offers access to online unsecured loans from $2,000 to $35,000 at competitive rates. And now get a $50 Amazon.com gift card after your first payment is made on time. Go to Avant.com and enter promo code 5858 when applying. AVANT.com, promo code 5858.
NBC News Radio special report, Tropical Storm Michael. The number of confirmed deaths as a result of former Hurricane Michael is now 5. The Gadsden County Sheriff's Office in Florida has confirmed that 3 more people were killed in separate storm-related incidents. A man in Greensboro, Florida, was killed after a tree fell on his home. An 11-year-old child was killed near Lake Seminole, Georgia. Recovery efforts are underway in the Florida Panhandle after Michael made landfall as a very strong Category 4 hurricane yesterday. Florida Governor Rick Scott said today utilities are reporting more than 400,000 homes and businesses without power. Scott added humanitarian aid is coming to those in need.
We have 2 million meals, 1 million gallons of drinking water, and 400,000 pounds of ice that is being distributed right now. And we're going to get that out as quickly as we can and keep it flowing.
Flooding is a big problem for parts of South Carolina hit by now Tropical Storm Michael. A car was trapped by floodwaters in Spartanburg County. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
Re-elect Riverside County Sheriff Stan Sniff on November 6th because Sheriff Sniff will keep our families safe. Let's keep a proven and experienced leader in this critical office as he continues to modernize our Sheriff's Department by integrating technology tools for his deputies and dramatically improving their training and equipment. Vote for experience, proven leadership, and integrity. Vote to re-elect Riverside County Sheriff Stan Sniff on November 6th. Paid for by Friends of Stan Sniff 2018.
This election, the voters in the 42nd Assembly District have an amazing chance to finally be represented in Sacramento by someone who listens and cares.
I'm Denny Antoinette Mazingo. Vote for me November 6th.
Denny will reach across the aisle to work with the majority in Sacramento and give voters the voice they've been waiting for and need.
I will advocate and fight for universal health care, a path from college to career free of debt, a healthy business environment with abundant well-paying jobs, affordable housing for all, safe schools and communities, a transition program for 18-year-old foster care children. Seniors have to choose monthly on what life necessities they can afford, and we're going to change that.
Denny's a former military lawyer, a JAG. She will fight for you in Sacramento. Google Denny, D-E-N-I.
I'm Denny Antoinette Mazingo. I approve this message.
Paid for by Friends of Denny Antoinette Mazingo.
Visit your local Baker's drive-thru restaurant this month and get an Easter Seals Safe Halloween booklet for just $1. You'll receive over $400 in coupons and make a life-changing difference in the lives of kids and adults with disabilities in the Inland Empire. 100% of the proceeds support Easter Seals services in your community. No trick. Learn more at easterseals.com/Southern Cal.
KCAA Loma Linda. your CNBC news station for the Inland Empire.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
Well, hey everyone, how we doing out there today? This is the Flip Flop Investor Show, and I am your host, Todd Bayer, the Flip Flop Investor himself. For those of you that don't know, every single week we get together and talk about real estate investing here in Southern California. We're just a bunch of investors getting together and talking about this stuff. We're not attorneys or tax accountants or anything like that. So if anything we say seems a little odd to you, you should talk to those people before you go forward and make any decisions for yourself, because I don't want to be held liable for any decisions you make as an investor and decide to lose a bunch of money or something. So we're just investors chatting about what we do. So every week we get together with a local investor and talk to them about what they do and everything. So this week, our special guest is Mr. Charles Yoon. How you doing today, Charles?
Hey, not too bad. I'm a little nervous to come on here, but excited to be here.
Excited to be here. Awesome. Hey, I got to tell you, though, you got to talk right in the microphone. Otherwise, you almost have to eat the mic.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
That's the rule. Yeah, general rule is you got to eat the mic. So
yeah, I asked you about some tips earlier. I don't know.
Oh, man, I forgot that one.
Yeah.
I think I did say, I'm like, talking in the microphone. That's the only rule. No.
Yeah, I'm excited to just spend some time with you, man.
Oh, hey, appreciate it. We actually haven't had a whole lot of guests on that own property and are a landlord.
Oh, wow.
I think we've only maybe had one other landlord on the show. So I'm excited to talk to you about your journey and your path of getting to becoming a landlord and a property owner and you rent property out to people. So
that is hard to believe, man. You guys have a big network too.
We do have a big network,
Yes.
but you know what it is that, okay, I told you a little bit about my background. I used to own some rental properties, and I personally, I hate it. I don't want to ever be a landlord again.
Really?
I don't like it.
You still got rentals, or you?
No, I sold them. I sold all mine in 2014.
Did you?
Yeah, so
It's probably that one that you held on to since 2007. That's probably why.
It might have been that one. Yeah, the one out in Paris. That was a fun project. No, actually,
right before the crash.
That tenant was probably the least amount of headache for me of all the tenants I had. They were a Section 8 tenant, and they were great. I've heard so many people's horror stories about Section 8 tenants, but that particular tenant was really good.
Wow.
Where she had to pay an amount of rent. I want to say it was 5% or something like that. The government subsidized the other 95, and she was a manager at a McDonald's, had a bunch of kids, and but yeah, every time I would go over there, everything was it was beautiful. The house was always clean,
well kept.
Well kept. And she, rent was always on time, which is really her only job is, pay rent on time. And I'm good with you, but
right.
They would call about things that were going wrong. I remember the water heater died on them. But she was real good. She called the day it happened, and it's fine. It's got to go fix it. That's just what we do, So
okay.
She was real cool, easy to work with. But yeah.
Did you do all the toilet fixing and?
No, no, I don't know how to do that
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my problem because there's a lot of.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, man. I mean, if you can kind of delegate that, I think most people can be landlords for sure.
It's true, but she's she was great. So, but yeah, I didn't fix anything because I'm not technical in that way.
You could build her a damn good computer, though.
I could, yeah, I could have built her computer if she was having issues with malware. I could have taken care of that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I moved on from that business. It's because you could charge $100 an hour as a computer repair guy. But
that's a lot of money.
I decided one day my hourly rate is $500 a day, an hour. I need to make $500 an hour. That's how much you need to make if you're going to be a millionaire working full time.
Yeah, is that what it calculated?
That's what it's calculated out to be.
Nice.
So I was like, you know what? My fee now is $500 an hour, and you just can't get that doing computers.
Right. So you sure you want to hire me?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can. Hey, if anybody out there wants to pay me $500 an hour to fix their computer, by all means, I am all about that. No. But no, so that's probably why I haven't had a lot of landlords on because it's just not it's not something that I'm particularly I don't really like it that much. It's not my favorite asset class in real estate, which seems odd because there's that's obviously one of the main ones. Most people are thinking oh, thanks, Nick, bringing out some water for us. It's a little dry in the office in the studio today. Maybe they did some fumigating or something in here. I don't know, but No, I'm getting the.
I know it's kind of warm in here.
It's kind of warm and everything. I know.
They want you to sweat in here.
All you people out there enjoying the nice, cool drive in your air conditioning. Yeah, just think about us. So anyway, I just owning rental property is not my favorite thing. I like the idea of owning apartment buildings, but
Totally.
as far as owning single family homes, for me, it's just having all the problems scattered out like that. You know, it's like it was a lot of work. Even though I only had 7 units at the max, it was still for me like it just seemed like all 7 would have a problem at the same time, and I have to run all over the place to get all these things taken care of, and it would like ruin my week.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? So
that would wear you out quick for sure.
Yeah, and I took a class from David Tilney. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I took his last class. I think it was in Orange County.
Okay.
Fullerton.
You took was it the hassle-free property management class he does?
Yeah, master leasing.
Yep, master leasing. That was a good one.
That was like way over my head.
Oh,
I'm
it's
like,
such a good method.
Yeah.
But again, you're a landlord.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What did you do? Because when did you? Actually, let's take it even further back. Everybody knows we're going to start talking about becoming a landlord. But how did Charles Yoon become a landlord? Like, what were you doing? Like, what's your backstory?
Shoot, I don't know if man, I have to think about that one. I was like, I've kind of always been in the real estate industry.
Okay.
So
from infancy or like
no,
from like when you were like 10 or what?
I know, yeah, right. No, I guess once I guess I've always had the entrepreneurship kind of like you did as well.
Okay.
I've always had that in mind. Rich Dad Poor Dad is actually for sure that got me kicked off.
That's like the catalyst.
Yeah,
the gateway drug. Yeah,
exactly right. So me and millions of other people for sure inspired.
Oh, right.
So after reading that book, I was just like, man, I can't work for anyone else, But
when did you read that book? Like, how old were you at that time?
I mean, it was. I think I was in college.
Okay.
So in my 20s.
It's like when I
early
read
20s.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. So that book was a game changer. I mean, for sure. I mean, so that ever since then it's stuck in my mind, and then, I kind of thought differently than probably most people out there.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, I've just got into doing loans. I used to be a loan officer, a retail loan officer.
Okay. Working for like a bank or.
Subprime mortgage, subprime and Alt-A.
Okay.
I worked for AmeriQuest Mortgage, and
Alt-A was basically like the stuff that was maybe like slightly better than subprime, but
exactly,
still like B paper.
Exactly, yeah,
yeah,
in between. So doing that, and then also did some real estate agent work, as an REO agent. So I worked.
Okay.
That was during the crash.
Oh, so you had a salesperson's license.
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
I still have it. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I don't use it much, but
yeah, you don't go out listing houses anymore.
No, too much work, man.
I know.
I don't like that kind of work.
Yeah.
But and then so I've always been in the kind of real estate industry.
Yeah.
Always wanted to invest, but man, it's kind of hard to know how,
Mm-hmm.
where to jump in, and so, of course, fear and all that.
Oh,
so
right.
didn't really get into investing till like way later.
When did you ended up like buying your first like property?
Not that long ago, actually. While I still had a job.
Okay.
So I actually, just quit my job middle of this year. So it's been like, 6 months.
Were you doing
since I
this?
actually quit.
What was your job?
I was an account rep, a wholesale account rep for a wholesale mortgage company.
Oh, okay.
SunWest Mortgage.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know SunWest.
Yeah, SunWest has been around for a while.
Yep.
I think one of the largest privately held FHA lenders in the nation. So good company, and good job. Just started slowing down, and I felt like now is the time, So I've had a job, for probably the last 7 years, 6-7 years.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
tough.
big change. Yeah. During that time, I've always been like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm here at the job, I'm gonna do well, but always in my mind, I'm thinking about an exit strategy. Every job I start, I'm like, I'm only gonna be here like 2 years, but I'm there like 3-4 years, So, so I mean, just recently quit not that long ago.
So that's good. I guess
going
I
to full time.
I should congratulate you with that, right?
Yeah, sorry. And sorry, your question was when I bought my first property. That was like 2014.
Oh, okay. Well,
so not that long ago. Yeah, I still had my job there
Yeah.
as an account rep, wholesale account mortgage. Did an FHA loan on it.
Okay.
Bought a 4-unit. Just leverage as much as I could, as little down payment as I can. FHA, they allow you to get up to 4 units in the beginning. And then after that, you can actually get a second FHA loan if you meet the criteria for a single family as well. So that was my strategy.
Okay.
I wasn't able to get the second one, but hey, at least got me in the door.
Right.
And I think that's all it really takes, just getting your first one in, and then just getting your feet wet. And from there, you're like, you'll start buying. You feel more comfortable about buying properties and stuff. So.
Yeah, now you can do it. Like the confidence shows up and everything.
Exactly.
So do you still own that property?
I do, yeah.
So you rent it out. All 4 units are rented out and everything.
I'm actually renting out the one unit. One of the units vacant right now, so I'm actually renting that one out. It should be rented today or tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you got somebody already lined up.
Yeah.
Bummer for all those people looking for a property to rent right now.
Yeah, call me for.
Yeah. Well, vacancy rates, like today, I just checked them. I think vacancy rates in Riverside, San Bernardino County are like sub 3% or something like that. It's ridiculous right now.
Sub 3%.
Yeah, like there's a huge demand for housing out here, as you probably have seen, and there's just not enough inventory, especially for renters.
It's not hard to find tenants for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good
finding good tenants though. You got to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
That's the rule,
Yeah.
What do you do to screen your tenants usually?
I try to do a lot. I try to screen them over the phone. I try to screen them, extensive background checks. I tell them ahead of time, like, hey, you know what? We're not here. I never say I, because I never want to tell them I'm the owner.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah, so I always tell them like, we do extensive background checks. I mean, it's
the owner's real particular.
We don't do I mean, we don't do we don't do any repairs up to like $50 or $100. That helps a lot, just that in itself. A lot of tenants just kind of take care of their own maintenance, and I tell them, hey, the appliances are not included. You know what I mean? So if the appliances go down, repairs or you need replacements, that's for you to take care of.
Yeah.
These are here just for you, just as an accommodation, So it makes it a lot easier.
The last tenant
they
left
don't bug
them, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is actually true in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, actually, another thing, I bought that 4 unit from Andy Teasley. I don't know. He's part of the group as well.
But he's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah, that's actually how I met him. In fact, yeah. So I bought that property from him. He kind of, showed me a little bit of the ropes, and I used his crews to actually do some fix-ups on that 4 unit. And got some, built some relationships with that through him.
Interesting.
As well. Yeah.
So how'd you come across that deal then? If you met Andy through there. Were you going to another investment club, maybe like Coachella Valley or something like that?
No, actually, I found that one on the MLS.
Okay. So he had it listed with his agent.
Yeah, he had it listed with his agent, and it just happened to be him. So I think like I said, everything happens for you, not to you. You know what I mean? So I felt like it was all part meant to be,
Yeah.
Met him, and then, I paid full retail for it. I told him ahead of time, too. I knew I was paying full retail.
Good for Andy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think he made out like a Band-Aid. But
in 2014, full retail still meant cash flow.
Still good. Totally.
Yeah. What city?
That's all I cared about, just cash flow.
What city is it in?
Desert Hot Springs.
Oh, yeah. So it was cash flow today still.
Yeah.
Like if you bought at today's market price.
Yeah.
I've
raised the rents quite a bit since then and stuff. So.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You got to keep up with inflation, right?
Totally. I know. And they have a ridiculous thing. Like they added the trash bill to the tax bill now in Desert Hot Springs. Yeah. So now the my escrow payment is like higher than my mortgage payment. You know what I mean? It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
so
expensive.
High. Yeah.
So like tax rate, like the tax rate's high, or is it just like because of those
all the extra
add-ons?
All the extra add-ons. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Special assessments and such. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that before, and where we have a tax. The sewer and the trash is added into your tax bill. I've had that in several places.
Yeah.
I don't. They don't do that everywhere, but
yeah. Sorry, it's the water. I'm sorry, it's the water. Yeah, water bill.
Water bill too. Yeah.
They added that.
Yep. Yeah. It depends. Depends on where you are. And what kind of water rights are a weird issue in California. So yeah, some cities have their own water rights, and some cities don't. It's weird. Mm-hmm. But so you bought this property. You screen your tenants really hard. Because you want to get good people in there, they're going to stay a long time.
Totally.
And you're sort of following David Tilney's method, where you're telling them I'm only going to do repairs up to a very small amount.
Yeah.
The appliances are your responsibility. Because as a landlord, there's actually not a whole lot that we're responsible for. Obviously, if we rent a house with a roof on it, we're responsible to maintain that roof. But The only thing we're really responsible for beyond that is like heating and a few other things.
That's
but,
right.
You know, like if there's a leak behind the wall, that's our fault. Like we got to fix that. But if there's, you know, if the lights go out, you know, or whatever, I mean, that's not our problem. Like you're supposed to be changing the light bulbs, and like a lot of tenants tend to take advantage, I'd say, of like the landlord thinking that you know, they can get you to do all this stuff. So I think Dave Tilney's program is good because my experience was that they would call me for everything, every little thing, and that was partly why I got burnt out on it. You know, and like I took David's class after I sold all my rentals. So,
oh, did you?
Yeah, so I'm like, oh man, if I'd have known this, like maybe it wouldn't have been such a pain, you know. But eventually it was sort of it was just annoying having to deal with this stuff. So it's a good thing you've been able to stick it out because I got tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I have a small portfolio, you know what I mean. So, but
you have more rentals now than I ever did. So you're much more of an expert on the subject than I am.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, so far so good.
Yeah,
I've had some issues for sure. I feel like I have one pretty fun, interesting real estate story now because of it.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
Now I got to hear it. I think everybody else wants to now.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how to break it down. But
was it with that fourplex or was it another?
No,
property?
This is actually the property that we did together.
Okay.
You, Steven.
Another one, Desert Hot Springs.
This one was in Hemet.
Oh, the one in Hemet. Okay.
Yeah, Steven probably knows better on it. But it's a 2-unit with a mobile home.
Yep.
On there, so that one I found originally, and then brought it to you guys.
Yeah, we did a joint venture with you on that one, and then you bought it from us.
And I ended up buying it from you.
You bought out the partnership, which was good because you basically just put your profit into the purchase.
Exactly.
So yeah, it made total sense.
Yeah, I just kept it in there as equity.
Yep.
But that property is good. It cash flows a ton.
That's what we noticed because when we were doing
huge.
it, we're like, I think it was going to cash flow like a 10 cap, like the day we sold it at market price.
Yeah.
So like you got a good deal there.
Yeah, and then I was paying pretty close to retail for it, and still cash flowing. You know what I mean? So it's such a great deal. And I've raised the rent since, so it's definitely a cash cow. But that one of the units, it went vacant recently.
Okay.
And then,
which one? Not the mobile, was it?
Not the mobile, but one of the other 2-bed, 1-bath.
Okay, the small one.
Yeah, the small one.
Yeah, because we did it was like the main house and that like other house on the right.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's a small house. And then the tenant, oh man, they basically just didn't pay the last month's rent, and they just basically moved out like quick without even giving me a 30-day notice.
Okay.
And he's actually one of the 2 tenants that I didn't actually pick myself. And those are those are the only 2 tenants that actually give me problems. You know what I mean?
Was he the one that he was living there the whole time?
No, he was actually his wife that we got in there originally when we had the deal.
Okay.
Yeah, his wife is the one that that I screened out and selected basically, but she ended up passing away.
Oh.
In the hospital, yeah, because she health problems and stuff.
I seem to remember her actually having health problems or something like that when we were around the time when you were selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably remember. So
that's too bad.
She passed away, and so it's basically her and her daughter living there, and so the husband, I guess, he came every so often, I guess, to kind of help out and stuff. Ended up living there, and then when she passed away, he just asked like, hey, is it okay if I just take over the
lease?
The lease, exactly. And I was like thinking, just since the daughter's there, they're used to it. I was like, all right, we'll try and make it work. I definitely was not. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have done that,
Yeah.
now.
Now you want to screen him, before he moves in, check his credit and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So he struggled. He wasn't even there very long, and struggled with the payments and stuff. So, but anyways, he took off, left me hanging, left the house vacant. It got broken into.
Yeah.
And they took like the AC unit, whatever, and then a bunch of other stuff, just vandalism.
Yeah.
And then since then, there was actually, let's see how it worked. It was actually ended up having there was actually a murder in that neighborhood.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I got a call from the police like in the morning on one day, and then he's like, yeah, there's been a murder in the neighborhood, and we're just trying to investigate. And I show that you have a camera on your house.
Okay.
We need to look at the camera. I was like, hey, I have a sign up there, but I don't actually have a camera.
Yeah.
So, come to find out, we went down. Well, actually, so he's like, the cop was basically just kind of demanding that we get into the property now and all that. but then, Charlie and I, we were actually going down there to meet with the homeowner that was down the street as well, a mobile home that we're going to look to buy.
Okay.
And so, so I was like, okay, let's just go down there. I got to take a look at the house anyway, and maybe talk to the police. I didn't even think about talking to the police. I thought that they're just telling me, hey, I need access.
Right.
So I was going to go down there and just check out the scene. When Charlie and I went down there, man, the whole neighborhood was blocked off. There's cops still there, and this is like in the afternoon by this time. So they've been there all morning in the afternoon, and it's all blocked off. And one of the neighbors tells me that the mobile home that we're going to go check out to buy, the guy who was murdered actually came from that mobile home.
Oh, really?
So they're all related somehow or another. So ironically, the house that we were going to buy in the mobile home, we actually ended up, it was all related. Like the guy came from that property. I guess he was it's kind of like the guys ran him over, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, they ran him over, and he basically walked from that mobile home and then ended up on like basically in front of our property.
Wow.
Right there. So. So that's why it all. I got the call and everything, and it was kind of crazy. It was a crazy day. Yeah, it was my first kind of crazy real estate story, I guess. My own, So
well, the more property you own in Hemet, the more interesting stories you're gonna get, I think.
Probably. Yeah.
Same with Desert Hot Springs. I mean, hey, great places. Wonderful, wonderful towns. We love everything about them. It's just there's some interesting people that live in these places too. So, yeah, if you own a bunch of property like I bet the owner of the property in Brentwood didn't expect to have like a murder, when Nicole Brown was murdered with, back when somebody else murdered them, because OJ was never convicted, of course. No.
That's right, man.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, sometimes you get these weird stories from stuff like that. And I think some of the best stories come from the people that own like rental properties. Yeah. Because they have something that happens, and like all my best stories come from when I owned the rentals. Because
I think so.
After you buy a house, like you get to know the people that you buy a property from, but after you buy it, like, it's vacant. You're just working out your contracts. You're doing the thing. And, maybe a contractor, like, put a nail through their finger or something like that. Like that's the kind of story you'll get. But you don't get any kind of the interesting stories except for, the other day, actually, another property in Hemet. What do you know? Our property we have, we had bought it recently and we were just waiting to get started on it. But in the process before our demo crew had gone in and like when we'd bought it, somebody had broken in and our realtor goes there to take like initial photos and to put on the lockbox. And there's a woman like passed out in the front room. And, he doesn't want to, like, touch her or anything like that because she might be dead or something. He doesn't want to. So he calls the police, and they come out. And lo and behold, she wasn't dead. She was just passed out. She had gotten, high and broke in and passed out on the floor. So they, like, just kind of shoot her off the property. But, like, we were all, like, sweating and nervous because, like, he's just standing there, like, she's not moving. So I don't know, and, like, he's not trained to touch anybody for CPR, so he's like, I'm just not going to touch it. I don't want to, I don't know what to do.
Wow.
He kept on saying like, ma'am, are you okay? Like he kept trying to wake her up, but yeah, apparently she.
Wow.
So, but
she just broke in and just passed out.
Broke in. Like I had you have the wherewithal to break into the house, and then like you didn't make it far. You made it like 2 steps inside the house and just passed out on the floor.
She's like, oh, this house looks good.
This one looks fine. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. We had another buddy of ours. He had a property where a woman had another time. It was a woman. She had broken in. And she ended up dying in the bathtub of an overdose.
Oh,
the police actually told him later on like this was a known prostitute and like things like that. So like it was still like now he has a death in the property and now this is going to affect his value.
Stigma.
Yeah. So it's it's just sometimes stuff like that happens. That's why it's important to like board your properties up if it's going to be vacant for any period of time, especially in a place like Hemet.
For sure.
Where there's just a lot of people with drug problems around, out there, and not that everybody in Hemet has a drug problem.
We love Hemet.
We
seriously.
Do.
I love Hemet.
I actually do like Hemet. Hemet's a good town. There's a lot of cool stuff there, but there's also some problems. They got their own set of issues going on, and
totally.
Whatever they can do, I'd love to hear what some of their affordable housing ideas are because it's a big problem there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it used to be a retirement community, so it used to be pretty quiet. I mean, generally it's pretty good, So
Yeah.
I'm selling Hemet now, make sure that
exactly.
we get tenants.
Yeah, you want to live in Hemet, trust me. Like
good.
They need good people.
Yeah. No, seriously, it actually is pretty good though.
And we know that all the listeners here at KCAA are good people. So if you know anybody,
Absolutely.
we want you guys there in Hemet.
Nothing but love.
So you bought this fourplex in Desert Hot Springs. You bought a couple more properties, but what a lot of people want to know is like, how do you price? How do you like figure out a deal? Like, what makes sense to you when you're looking at a rental?
Actually, I don't look at it as a rental.
Okay.
I kind of look at it as a flip first.
Okay.
Typically investors that buy for rentals, they can pay more for it. And, I just don't want to pay more for it. I want to get as good of a deal as I can, right?
Sure.
So, and I actually like your guys' spreadsheet, the one that Steven might have made.
Well, him and I have made that spreadsheet over the course of like 15 years. Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay. That thing's great. I mean, I just use that, like, for the most part, to initially screen it. And then if it has enough, margins there and it's within the ballpark and, it's and then from there, I just kind of see if how much of a cash flow I'll have at the end of the day.
Okay.
Really, that's what it all comes down to. Really, for me, is just cash flow.
Sure.
Is the money at the end of the month worth it for me to keep it? And just kind of take on the risk. Otherwise, I'll just sell it and
Well, there's a lot of people that buy houses to flip. It's a pretty common thing. People like flipping. I mean, we flip. There's, but.
It's sexy.
It is flipping sexy, But there's this other thing where, okay, if you're going to keep a property as a rental after the rehab's done, a lot of people the issue becomes financing at this point, because a lot of the people that work in this industry, they're self-employed, and getting an FHA loan may not be in the cards for them. So
tax returns are no good.
As a business owner, I try to claim as little income as I possibly can. I mean, that's just one of the things I can do. I can take write-offs. I have a lot of expenses related to the business. Even when it comes to things like meals and entertainment, like I'm out entertaining clients. I'm working with investors. I'm working with other potential partners and things like that. So I try to claim as much as I can as expenses so I can pay less in taxes. Call me a criminal. I don't care. Whatever. These are all legal loopholes you can do. Everybody can
Donald Trump, man.
I know Donald Trump does it. Not to say that we want to endorse Donald Trump on this station or anything, because it's a pretty liberal station. But as far as a business person goes, he definitely understands the tax loopholes. So you got to give him some credit there
for sure.
But he's like, what do you do basically? Like, what do you do for financing when it comes time to keep these things long term?
That's seriously. That was one of my fears of actually getting the rental properties, is how am I going to finance it? And I think it's kind of like that, taking that step, right? So once I got to that point, I was just like, dang, I need to find some financing. And so I just started looking, and there's like, the Norris Group has a pretty good, long-term program. Yeah, pretty good rates. So I just recently got a loan with them on that one. I'll probably refinance with them as well for more long-term.
We have another one if you're interested.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to ask you about something else. I'm looking to finance a mobile home. I don't know, on 4 acres. I don't know if you guys can find something like
433?
that. I don't think it's a manufactured on permanent foundation though.
No.
Yeah.
It's just a mobile personal property.
I think it's just a mobile personal property, but
it's tough. There's only a couple lenders that do it. Do you know when it was built?
I think it was like 86.
That should be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I've already had some lenders tell me they could do it, but I don't know. Just still looking.
Yeah.
Something for more easy. I think some of the lenders that I talked to are scrutinizing for income docs and everything, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So
because you're basically applying for a personal property loan.
Yeah.
Unless you can find value in the 4 acres, then you can get a loan on the real estate. But we'll talk about it more.
Yeah.
We don't want to bore everybody. We don't want to see me take a loan application from Charles on the air. Trust me.
Yeah. Seriously.
So you finance these with basically a hard money lender, the Norris Group.
Pretty much,
One of them. They're pretty big. They do a lot of stuff out this way.
Yeah.
There's a few of them I know that have these rental programs, and they're not like a traditional lender. Like you used to work for SunTrust. So SunWest. Sorry. SunWest. It's a traditional product. It's a conforming loan.
Yeah.
It's going to be full doc.
Conventional.
Conventional. you have to state, it's no stated income. You have to actually prove your income, and
totally.
It's if you say it's a rental property, they're going to want to see rent rolls and all kinds of good stuff about it. It's
exactly
very difficult to qualify for these loans,
Mm-hmm.
but when you work with a hard money lender that has rates, what are they, 6% or something right now, and like interest rate
for long term, I think it's like 7% interest.
7, yeah. And is it like, do they still the same thing where it's like a 7-year program?
Yeah, like fixed for like I don't know, 5-year program, 7-year program, something like that.
Yeah, so there's different programs out there for this kind of stuff. I know of one that's doing hard money 30-year fixed program.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be the one we'll talk about later on. But because if you want to keep them long term, obviously 30 years is much better than 7.
Totally.
You know, so
I've actually financed that 3-unit we did together. I financed that one conventional.
Yeah, I remember.
One. Yeah, that was kind of a pain.
It was.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I remember because we had to like write a letter and all kinds of stuff to them.
Oh man, switched lenders and your guy Joe. I feel bad for Joe. I mean, he's such a hero.
Yeah.
If I can give a shout out to him, I mean, anybody that needs loans, conventional loans, go to Joe.
Oh yeah, and Joe's a great guy, but Joe, he's not really doing it anymore. I don't know. He kind of fell off. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be involved in the business anymore. So
sad. Yeah, no. I mean, I think he still is, but yeah. I mean, he's so knowledgeable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Joe, he's been on the show before. He was, he knows everything you could possibly think of when it comes to the lending side of this business.
Yeah.
Conventional lending side. He didn't know anything about hard money. It was funny. He would ask me questions. I'm like, why are you asking me questions about lending? But, like I go to you for questions. But he didn't understand the hard money side. I'm like, it's really simple. You're probably overthinking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he kind of I don't know what he's doing. I need to call him and see what's up because he was working for a big company. Then that company got bought out, and they got forced to move to another office. And then the new company that bought him was terrible, so he ended up moving to another company. And I think I last heard that company was pretty terrible. So he's no longer a sponsor of the club.
Oh, really?
He was sponsoring for a while, but now we have another sponsor for the lending side.
Okay.
For people that want conforming products. So and she's also pretty knowledgeable and has her own line, so that helps.
Okay. Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to Laura at Lock Your Loan. Yeah, one of our sponsors. Thank you very much for your sponsorship, Laura, in case you're listening, which I'm sure you are, because why would you put money into a thing and not listen to it later on, So hard money, it's pretty much the way you're going about it, because the conventional way is difficult, and until you get to like a real serious portfolio, like I think the minimum I've heard lately is like at least a $3 million rental portfolio, where you can get a loan that's what do they call it, like a blanket loan that covers all the rentals.
Yeah.
And then if you ever sell one, you can basically take it out of there. But let's assume it's a $3 million loan against all those properties. You'd have a $3 million loan on every single one of your properties. So if you ever sell it, they get notice and all this stuff. It's cool how they do it, but they need somebody with a more serious portfolio. And I think $3 million is the most recent number I heard for one particular group, but most of them won't even touch them until they're like 10 million.
Really?
Yeah, like if you have $10 million worth of single family homes, they'll do a blanket loan because really it's a lot of work.
Yeah. I could see.
And some of these companies that do it, they just need to place so much capital that they're not looking for the little, $125,000 loan here and there. They're like, no, if you're going to bother us with something, we need $10 million, because we need to place like hundreds of millions of dollars like all over the place. So
must be nice, man.
I know it's a good problem. Well, it's a good problem to have, I guess, but when they're in that situation, it's hard to find the right operators, because there's a lot of people that there's a lot of bigger groups that own large portfolios of rental properties. People like maybe I don't want to say their name on the air, but there's big companies that own a lot of single families, and I think the issue with them, as far as I'm concerned, is they're not as good of an operator as say an actual owner operator would be.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because like if there's an issue, one of your tenants calls you, you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a big corporate, giant,
you know your business inside and out.
You do, and you're like, is that switch by the garage giving you a problem? Yeah, I kind of figured it would eventually because, it was a little bit wobbly when I rented it to you. So right. You know that because it's your property. But these big companies, they have no clue like what's going on. They don't know anything about their properties and
just the numbers
and the people that take the phone calls. It seems like they're just like angry phone operators. They're not actually trying to help you. They're just trying to get you off the phone. I don't know. Like, what do you think about something like that? Have you ever dealt with one of those big companies?
You mean like the big lenders, or what do you mean?
No, like a big landlord company. Somebody like, maybe I'll throw a name out there, Waypoint. or like Invitation Homes or
Yeah, not familiar.
anything like that. Like I've heard a bunch of horror stories about them.
Really?
You know, just because they're not that great at managing
Probably.
from a consumer or customer side. They have terrible customer service, I've been told.
Yeah.
You know,
That's where you come over and take over the business, the whole
oh man,
monopolize.
I don't know if I'd want to. Like that's kind of what I'm getting at with like with owning a big portfolio of single families. It's like all your problems are spread out. And that's why like apartments a little bit better because you have an on-site manager, you have on-site maintenance. You know, like they're going to know those properties really, really well.
Totally.
And so they're sort of your eyes and ears as the owner.
Right.
And they're going to keep an eye on it for you, and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I know that light switch finally went out on you, didn't you?" You know, and like you'll see the maintenance guy. He's around. He's got the truck. You know,
Right.
It's a little different, you know, than having a single family because they may never know who the maintenance person is.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
know?
it could change and stuff.
Yeah.
Apartment. So, man, I want to get into the apartments with you guys.
Okay.
Once you guys get going.
Hey, I'm
That's
interested.
That's my goal too, for sure.
Yeah, multifamily's good. You know, it's I mean, there's a demand for housing. People need to live somewhere, so I consider that to be the safest commercial asset
That's right.
class out there.
Easiest
you know?
to sell and buy.
Yep.
And there's a lot of demand for it always.
Yeah, there's always demand, and as long as you keep
If you
them
need to
nice.
liquidate it, you can.
Yeah, if you need to liquidate, that's maybe the only drawback about multifamily, I think, because if you have
Takes more time.
let's assume you have a 10-unit apartment or you have 10 single-family houses, you know, and you're like, I need a quick, you know, $50,000. You can't just sell one of the units out of the apartment,
Right.
You know. Instead, you could sell one of the houses, and now you have 9 still,
Right.
and that way you're not just completely cutting off your entire flow of cash, you know.
Totally.
And so I don't know. There's
Pros and
cons, but I think the pros far outweigh the cons anyway.
Yeah.
On apartments. So, you know, my opinion. I've only owned, you know, one multifamily property at this point, so I'm I'm inexperienced in that regard. I don't feel like I'm an expert there, but I also don't feel like it's that complicated.
But your next one's going to be like 100 unit.
Yeah, that was actually the first one I ever
Right.
tried to buy was 99 units.
But you're here trying to buy commercial buildings.
Exactly.
Whole blocks.
That's what I like to do. I mean, commercials, you know, it's a new asset class to me, but it's, you know, it's designed for the investor. There's nobody in it with like they just feel good about it. There's no emotion in commercial real estate. It's either it's a good deal or it's not.
Really?
There's no like, oh, I don't know, it's got a view, so you know we're gonna give that view a value of X, and you know it's got a pool, so we're gonna give that pool a value of X. Like it's just a matter of like, okay, what are people really paying for rent in an area like this with a pool and a view? You know, that's the emotional side of it. It's not about it's about the numbers strictly. It has nothing to do with any of that fluff that happens in single family homes. Like if you take a street, you know, that the street goes up a hill and down a hill. Like if it's just like, you know, ideally the people at the top of the hill probably have the highest value because they have the best view. You know, the people at the bottom of the hill have the lowest value because they have no view and their only view is like the other person's backyard, you know. So, you know, it's weird how value works when it comes to single family homes. It's an art.
So you've been studying the commercial a bit of a while, huh?
Yeah, I started getting into commercial, at least on the education side, in like 2011.
Oh wow!
Back then.
So yeah, you've been familiar for a while, huh?
Yeah, and we've made tons of offers, just haven't gotten them accepted. I guess the difference in that world is that, you know, they really want to see a name buying it. You know, like we don't have a name in commercial. We have a name in residential, but
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't do you any good. It's a different
Marcus
market.
Millichap or CBLS or something.
Yeah, CBRE, all these people that, you know, they don't know who we are and we don't know who they are. So we don't even know who the right people to talk to are in that world. You know, and maybe the agent we're calling is actually just kind of a joke and, you know, like nobody knows him. And so therefore we're not going to get any deals because maybe our agent's the problem. I don't know. We don't know any of these little nuances about that business yet. So we'll get into it. And as we do, everybody will learn here more and more about it because we're all about any information we get. We always like to pass it forward.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys doing next. Yeah.
Well, it's going to happen.
excited.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't the best market in the world right now to be buying apartments because cap rates are pretty low right now. I think average in Riverside is like 5% cap rate. So, we're a little, you know, like, I don't know if I'm ready to make just 5% on my money. So, it's, you know, that's for the long-term hold, guys. It's kind of what it's for.
Super long term, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really long term.
So right now you're looking for flips too. Like you said before, you're not when you're pricing out a rental, you're not actually pricing as a rental. You're looking for a good flip.
Yeah.
But then you're like, hey, this actually might make sense as a rental.
Yeah, multiple exits, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if it makes sense for a flip, it'll make sense. I mean, it could make more sense. I have more options basically. So,
Now,
yeah.
have you started the path like looking for like money partners, people with like a good chunk of cash, where you can say, hey, let's buy this property together. I'll manage the thing. You put up your money, and I'll just pay you the rent each month. Have you thought about doing anything like that?
I don't know. I don't think I haven't really looked into that, but I probably should.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. It's just dealing with other people's money. I'm like, just a fear. I want to make sure it's good, and plus, do I have enough credibility to bring someone on?
At this point, I'd say you do.
You know what I mean?
More experience than I did, in a rental, and I think there's plenty of people that would throw money my way if I wanted to partner up with them on a little rental house.
Well, you've got a name though, so.
Well, I mean, hey, you're getting a name right now. Look at this. You're on the big, NBC News radio show, and man, you're moving up in the world.
Notch on my resume.
Exactly. Like featured on NBC, the Flip Flop Investor Show. Yeah, no, people are going to be super pumped about that. So, okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah, so I'm actually rehabbing one right now. I'll probably flip that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one, we'll probably be done with that one hopefully in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I'll have it on the market right away. So that one, I was thinking about keeping that one too, but I just need cash flow at this point.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's nice to just collect that profit. Yeah.
Right. Chunk of money.
Yep. Yeah. It's always the nice thing about flipping a house is like as soon as you're done with it, like it's like you won the lottery. You get this big old chunk of cash,
Right.
and you're like, yay, but
one big check.
Take
a copy of it and show your family and friends.
Exactly. Yep. But the other thing is if like flipping, it's a transactional business. So once you do that one, you have to do another one in order to keep the cash flow coming. So,
Right.
I think you're definitely on the right track buying rentals because it is a great means to cash flow and checkbook or what do they call it, mailbox money, and where you're just getting money each month.
Yeah.
Like for me, I mean, I like notes. I like real
That's a
estate
whole
notes
nother
more.
animal, yeah.
I like them way better because it's the same cash flow without the management.
Totally. I could see that for sure.
So I got into lending in 2011, and I pretty much haven't really looked back. I'm not looking back thinking like, man, I'd really like to go buy some rentals, but instead it's like I'd love to go buy some notes. If anybody has a note for sale, I'd love to buy it. Because that's cash flow to me.
Yeah.
And if they don't pay, it's simple. You foreclose. It's it's just a business thing. And like even though people do tend to get emotional about it, it's like, look, that's what you agreed to.
Right.
You agreed to pay this, and if you didn't, you understood that this is what the recourse was going to be. So, and especially after the downturn in 2007, 2008, I think a lot of people are now more familiar with like what the foreclosure process actually looks like. I think it was a mystery to homeowners for a while there.
Probably.
So
we got short-term memory though. It'll
dissipate. Yeah, give it like another 10 years. People forget all about it.
Foreclosures all again.
I don't know, man. The people that went through the Great Depression, like they seem to never forget about it.
Yeah, that was a whole different. Yeah.
Like those people, like they never end up putting money in banks. Like they were very very skeptical of the government, like all kinds of stuff.
Created a lot of hoarders, I'm sure, in that generation.
Probably. Oh man, I've dealt with them. You've probably dealt with a few hoarders, right? Like
scary.
Have you gone to any of those houses where the people just have newspapers stacked up to the ceiling?
Totally.
You've been to those? Yeah. Those are a lot of fun, because they're a mess. But we were just talking about a hoarder earlier this morning. We were just talking about a hoarder house we'd gone into, like where they had mushrooms growing out of the carpet. Like,
oh my gosh.
It's just disgusting. Like, but
I can't stand that. Oh my gosh.
I would never go to a person's house.
Me out. Yeah. It's just like I can't handle that. I mean,
yeah,
I'd rather not.
It's bad. These people must not have any friends or family that want to come visit. There's no way that they could have had a house like that. And people are like, yeah, that's the party house. Let's all go over to Bob's house and have a big party over there because he's got those mushrooms growing out of his carpet. It's so cool. Oh my God. Oh man, that guy had cats. Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, I've had this one property in as an REO agent in San Bernardino. I opened up the door of a vacant house, and it's all dark in there, of course. And as I open it up, like probably 12 to 20 cockroaches, different sizes, fall from the ceiling, fall on my hand, and I literally ran out to the street, like taking it all out. I was like, oh gosh, it's so. And I think the people just recently moved out. You know what I mean? Like they were living like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is so bad.
Like, man.
Health-wise, and it was just terrible.
Yeah, I've dealt with roaches. There was one house I went into in Corona. I remember fleas. this house was like the carpet. As soon as you walked, you just saw things flying up from the carpet. And I thought it was dust at first, but every step you took, they're coming up. And then like I was wearing pants, but the guy I was with was wearing shorts. And like he like goes running out of the house, and I'm like, what's his problem? You know, like I thought he saw something in one of the other rooms. And I go out there, and he's like out there like picking it at his legs, like trying to pull. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, there's fleas in that house. I'm like, what? And yeah, like the whole house was just littered with fleas. We didn't end up buying that one. We put an offer in, and they didn't accept it. They ended up selling it for less later on, but that's another story. Yeah. So let me ask you this: when did you? So you met Andy Teasley. Like I'm kind of like going back to this because you met Andy Teasley and to buy that fourplex, and did he like drag you to any of the investment clubs or anything like that at that time?
You know, I don't think he was. I think he was really active out there. You know, so
Yeah.
He did kind of like guide me to but I didn't really go out there because it's so far.
Right.
You know, but then and then later on I just found out that he started coming out here and. Working with you guys and everything. So that's kind of, but yeah, I took him out to lunch, trying to pick his brain a little bit.
The whole
He's
thing.
always open for that, right?
Yeah,
so, learned about mobile homes and
Lonnie Scruggs
cash
deals.
Lonnie Scruggs, yeah.
Yeah.
So, learned about creative financing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting because like most of the people I meet, because like we met you through our club, right? Through our investment club.
Right.
Like most of the people I meet are like through our club, but they got started investing like once they started going to the club. So like it's interesting to me that you got started investing before you even knew about any of this world that existed out there. Because like it's weird because I mean that's how I did it. I didn't know about the whole investment world when I got started in real estate. So it's weird to meet somebody that kind of took it upon their own selves to like just do it, And so I think we got a lot in common there because like a lot of people we meet, it's like they came to the club or they went to a seminar or they did something like that, and they got immersed into this world, Whereas you just sort of like I know you were working in real estate, but that's like, it takes like another like leap of faith to like. Be willing to do this other thing that nobody else I'm sure you were working with was doing.
Right. Yeah, and think more like a business owner instead of having a job or
an employee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So usually I like to mention the investment club. I guess we got a little bit of time left, But I usually like to take this time to talk about the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club.
Plugs.
It's a shameless plug, hey, but you know what? Why not?
If I had something to plug, I'd plug it right now. But
you got something to plug. Come on now. But we got I'll give you a minute to think about that while I just tell everybody out here about. No, actually, for anybody out there that's interested in getting into real estate, if you've listened to us or if you're even involved in real estate, we have the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. Well, we put that on. We have 3 main events each month. The big main event is on the 4th Wednesday of every month at the Mission Inn in Riverside. That starts at 6 p.m. and goes till about 9 is when it's officially supposed to end. But we always go a little over time because we just love what we do and can't stop talking about it. So the next main monthly meeting for the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club is on October 24th at the Mission Inn. We always, the Saturday before that, which will be October 20th this month, we get together at a thing we call Saturday Morning Coffee at a place called the Arcade Coffee Roasters in downtown, or not downtown, but in Riverside off of Chicago. We go to Arcade. We get there at about 8 o'clock in the morning, leave at about 10. Some people leave at 1. It just depends. Same thing. We just love this business, so we talk about it all the time. And we do that, get together, talk about real estate. That's $10 to get into. It includes coffee and some pastries and whatnot. And you get to meet all the big people that are involved in the group. I forgot to mention on the 24th at the big monthly meeting, it's $30 to get into that, but we also have food and beverages and such, so you can come to that. And we just passed it last week on October the 3rd. Every first Wednesday of the month, we host our cash flow game, which is a board game created by Robert Kiyosaki. It teaches you all about creative deal structures and how to invest in real estate with no money out of your pocket. So if you're interested in learning about all these different wonderful things that we have to offer, come on out to the Investment Club. You can get all the details on meetup.com. Just go on there and look up the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, or go on to Google and just type in Investment Club Riverside or something like that. We'll pop up. We're always the number one result. We have almost 4,200 members now, so good sized group, lots of good people in that group. Charles is a part of it. I'm a part of it. Pretty much every person that's ever been on the show is a part of it. So, come on, check it out. Meet all the big important people in this industry, and most people are open for mentorship. I'm sure if somebody came to you, Charles, and said, I want to learn how to do what you do, would you be willing to take somebody under your wing and show them the ropes?
I think everybody wants to help out, just to help.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, because most people kind of get into this business, and you form a partnership somewhere along the line with somebody. It's hard to do this business completely by yourself.
Totally.
There's not a lot of people I know that do this business 100% alone. Most people, even Andy, Andy partners up with a lot of people to do his deals because you need other people for various things. Not everybody's good at every single aspect of this business. Like, what would you say your strong part is? Like the negotiation part? Would you say your strong part's like the financing side, or is it the rehab work, or is it the management of the tenant? Like, what would you say your strongest role is?
Oh man, I don't. Probably just the initial acquisitions, maybe.
So that deal finding and negotiation.
Yeah.
I could see that,
but
because you're a people person.
I don't know. I mean, you got to make it all work. So I don't know. You got to do decently well in all parts, right?
Yeah.
So you can't drop the ball on one thing and then
well, especially if you're wearing all the hats, which is what you're doing right now.
Exactly,
you're every part of your organization. So you got to be able to manage it. You got to find the deals. You have to finance it. You have to do everything. But like, if I told you I could take over any one part of that for you right now, what would be the part that you would give up first?
Finding the money. You're the money guy.
Okay, hey,
find me some money.
I'm the money guy.
Todd's got the money.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's what I do.
You could probably fund my deal right now.
I probably could.
How much you got on you?
Oh man, on me. I don't have my wallet on me. I think I left it at the office. But my driver's license is in the car, so if any police officers want to pull me over, I have my license on me. So giving up the money part. That's a lot of people, though. A lot of people would give up the money side.
Yeah.
Because it's like
finding money, and
that's the hardest thing. I mean, well, at least that's the impression. I think it's the part that I'm good at, but I'm also not afraid to talk to people about their money. That's for me. Like, I love people that want to invest and get into real estate. And it's like, if you got money, you have such a leg up on all the other competition. Most of the people getting into this business have no money. So if you have money, we can find you a good deal. There's deals out there. Like, the deals are easy to find. The money's the hard thing for most people. But if you have a good deal, the money's there. So, I would gladly take over the money side of it. No, it's I mean, hey, that's why I'm like the CFO of all my organizations, right? Like, that's why I own a lending company, I guess, maybe because the money side's what I'm comfortable with. It makes sense. I get it, But the money side. What about like management? Would you give that up at all?
Management?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If it makes sense, I mean, get big enough portfolio for sure. Yeah.
Have you ever considered hiring a property manager?
Yeah.
But just what's holding you back from that?
I mean, at this point, it just I guess I'm just not big enough a portfolio. I feel it's easy to manage. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The way I set it up, like the tenants really never bother me.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So you're basically just collecting rent each month and managing the little expectations or little issues that come up here and there.
Pretty much whenever it goes vacant, that's when I'll step in.
That's when you step in.
In between, they do their own repairs, most of the stuff, and anything big will go in there, step in.
Yeah, that's that's basically what it is if you're doing it right.
Right.
It shouldn't be like difficult, and but and a lot of people, like, they always say like tenants and toilets, right? Like, these are the big things that people are freaked out about.
Totally.
So I mean, occasionally you're gonna have a plumbing issue. Occasionally you're gonna have a water heater go out, air conditioning, whatever. This stuff's gonna happen. So, do you like have a list of contractors that you already know you can call, or that the tenant could call directly, and just say, hey, I live at 123 Main Street. Charles said to call this number if ever my water heater went out, and there's a plumber that just goes and shows up, or how do you handle maintenance requests?
Luckily, I had one, like, the tenants kind of help out. Like, most of them are kind of handy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the 4 unit out there in the desert, he basically does everything except collect rents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's nice.
Great. It's so nice to have, for sure.
Hey, maybe you could talk him into collecting rents for you one time.
All right.
So, Charles, before we get off the air, do you have anything you want to plug? I mean, I know you said you don't have anything to plug, but
no, I just want to say the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, for sure, hands down. No selling, I mean, it's the best.
Wow,
club for
appreciate
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
That's it.
Thanks, Charles, for
Come
coming
out.
on. I appreciate you, man. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all again next week on Thursday. Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you then. Take care.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company